guys, what's up? This is Fault Kid, and welcome to a movie review. And as you can tell, yeah, I got my face shaved and everything. If you wonder what's with this cut right here, I cut myself by accident. Though I just, I don't know. It's because my razor's a little cheaper. I don't know, but even as well as my cheek as well, a little bit. Maybe it's because I've been shaving a little harder. I can't tell though, but but still. No beard, no mustache or anything, not even on my neck either, so, But anyway, you guys, so yeah, today I'm going to be reviewing, the movie, of course, it's a horror movie or a vampire movie, of course, Sinners. So Sinners came out back in April, later on this year, which, later this year, and it came out like like 2 months before the new Superman movie. Yeah, it came out. Yeah, that's right. It came out like 1 or 2 months before Superman came out. So that's pretty interesting though. But yeah, Sinners. It stars Michael B. Jordan and some other actors. I have to look them up sometime. But yeah, I do know Michael B. Jordan. He was in the first 3 Creed movies. He was in Black Panther. He was in the 2015 Fantastic Four movie. Yeah, and as well as the Space Jam: A New Legacy from 2021 with LeBron James and some other movies. So and there's another actor I do know familiar with, which I'll have to get to that later on. So yeah. So we got the characters though, of course. It's basically about vampire. Basically, like people, are turn to vampires, and when they get bitten or scratched, whatever, they'll turn to a vampire, and of course, they'll like eat people's blood, suck people's blood out, and that's how vampires are, right? Okay, I don't remember much plot with the movie though, but I do can explain much as far as I can, as far as I remember, I'll have to rewatch it again one day because I actually quite like Sinners. Because it's been a pretty good movie, though. Something about it kind of reminds me of some other vampire movies, though. It does remind me of Shameless a lot from last year. And it is quite like, it's also kind of reminds me of Day Shift from Netflix, though, with, what's his name? With Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, as well as Scott Adkins as well. Yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a pretty funny one, if you ask me, though. But and they're definitely better than like any of those Twilight movies, with Robert Pattinson. Yeah, those ones, Lord awful ones. But speaking of Robert Pattinson, though, I love the 4th Harry Potter movie, and especially the Batman movie with him in it, from 2022. But as far as I remember that from the beginning, though, yeah, we got one of the survivors going to the church, and as of course about earlier ago, and then I'm sorry, it went back to earlier, and like I told you about, this happened. We got this one person was innocent going to the house, and we got this one Indian type of character, and believe it or not, guys. One of them is played by Anthony Arcand, that this Indian dude, he's Nathan Arcand, he's a Canadian actor though, and but he played in one of the Heartland characters. He plays Scott, Scott the veterinarian from Heartland. Yeah, he played he plays Scott from that show. If you guys familiar with it, he was also in Black Summer, which of course that show was completely dog crap. Yeah, he was in Lone Ranger. Of course, Elektra what is it? Electro. I'm sorry, Electra. With Jennifer Gardner. Some other movies. Yeah, he was in a bunch of movies though. So yeah, Nathan Arcand, this Indian dude, he warns them that like there's like vampires, whatever. You might want to, that he was telling them, and then of course, the whole couple gets, unfortunately, they get turned to vampires. Including this one dude that got into the house. Of course, later on, we got this cabin that people are just like having party or drinking, whatever, and we got a couple there, and one of them's got turned to a vampire, and most of the other people got turned to vampires, and all the other vampires showed up, and sorry, and then they have their weapons, their guns and everything, and there's barricading the cabin. There's like 2 or 3 of them survive from there though, and when the sunset rises, the sun rises, everybody's burned out. Everybody's getting, burned, whatever, because they're vampires, because vampires' weakness is the sunlight, So all of them are dead, basically, and except, of course, we got the other villains, though, shooting, and the other villains are dead, though, and of course, Michael B. Jordan's character, survived, as well as the other guy, the other person, I forget. The other person went to church, like I told you before, right? But yeah, that's all I remember. That's how the plot with this movie, though, But unfortunately, with Nathan Arquette, we didn't hear much from him, though. He was only in a couple of minutes in the movie. I mean, jeez. I mean, I'm sure if you guys know this actor, though. I mean, but it sucks that we didn't get to see him much in this movie. But just I still like the movie, though. I still enjoy Sinners. That was one of the better horror movies I've seen, or whatever, or thriller, whatever. Well, I mean, it says horror, though, but still. Yeah, I actually enjoy Sinners, though. It's a pretty good, fun, awesome vampire movie. Or, no, yeah, sorry, yeah. Pretty good vampire movie, though, I will say. Or horror movie, whatever. I'll say it was 10 times, or 20, or 50, or 60 times better than any of those A24 horror movies. I mean, sure, there's 1 or 2 horror movies from A24 I like, but most of them suck, of course, though. But, of course, now we went all the way down to the, Bring Her Back, which you will get to see in a super rant, But anyway, though, so yeah. So Michael B. Jordan, I thought he does a really great job in this movie, though, I will say. As well as the other actors, especially the other actor, of course, the Canadian actor, Nathan Arquette, that Canadian actor who played the Indian. Like I told you before, he played Scott from Heartland, the Venerian. I just don't know if you guys are familiar with the show, though. I mean, if I've seen YouTubers react to Sinners, though, I doubt there's probably gonna be some people seeing this actor saying that, oh, is that the guy from Heartland named Scott? I remember that show, but but I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of people familiar with that show or not, but I'm sure there's other people that are familiar with some other movies like Lone Ranger, etc. Because I mean, I like Nathan Arquette, Arquette. I don't know how to pronounce his last name though, but yeah, he does a pretty good job, despite that he's only in the couple of minutes in the movie, I mean, it's quite sucks that he's only in the couple of minutes in this movie. I mean, that's all we get to see, I mean, he played in a couple of entertainment show or movies I like, because, well, mostly I know, of course, Scott, the Venerian from Heartland, as far as I know. As well as the Lone Ranger, as well as I know as well. So, But anyway, so. But at least we get to see more, of course, Michael B. Jordan, he's the main character in this movie, though, Because, I love both of his movies and everything, He did a great job, so, But anyway, guys, thank you. I mean, sorry. That's all I could tell you about the plot and everything in this movie, though. I mean, I just couldn't focus on the plot and everything, though. I do know certain things that happen in this movie, though, but it's because I have because I just couldn't understand or process as well in this for the plot of this movie, because I have auditory processing, of course, just a random thing I'm telling you, so But yeah, but still, I did enjoy Sinners. It's a very good movie, I mean, this came out back in April, so, Yeah, this movie came out in April, you know, and it came out 2 months before the 2 months before the Superman movies. Yeah, Superman movie. So you know, quite crazy to know, you know, but yeah, but yeah. So Sinners, you know, I will put that in one of the best movies of this year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, because I know for sure it's Fantastic Four, First Steps, or Warfare could be my number one. I don't know which one's could be my number one. I'm thinking for sure it's a Fantastic Four, First Steps is my number one favorite, and Warfare is my number two favorite. And I don't know. I'll have to say either like Sinners can be either my third or fourth favorite. I have to look at the movies that I have watched this year. You know. But yeah. So anyway, oh, as well as the Bad Guys too, which I need to see about watching because you know. Because I enjoyed the first Bad Guys movie, the animated movie though, but yeah, the second one looks far interesting than I thought. So yeah, I will check that out and review the first two. So you know, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching. You guys, thanks for watching. You know, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video or so. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and so yeah, you guys stay safe. Peace out. Team with respect, and I'll see you guys later, guys. See ya.